Just imagine this. Your favorite team is on a very difficult road stretch where they have to face off against some of the best teams in the league. Your first matchup is against the OKC Thunder, where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is lighting up your team for about 40 points, while the rest of the OKC Thunder is making it nearly impossible for your team to even score a single bucket. Thunder win this game in a landslide. Wow, thank God that's over. We finally have a break. Never mind. Your next matchup is against the Denver Nuggets, where Nikola Jokić gives you the lamest 30-point triple-double while calling it a day on the bench by the end of the third quarter. Which situation sounds more agonizing? The violent and aggressive death of Shai and the OKC Thunder, or the slow and inevitable death of Jokić and the Denver Nuggets? Despite what your answer is, I think you can agree both of these sound terrible. The 2025 NBA MVP race, despite who you thought should have won, might go down as one of the greatest MVP races in NBA history. From the video game-like stat lines Jokić was putting up, to the unreal season the OKC Thunder had, to the endless Shai 30 pieces, more consistent than James Harden choking a Game 7. You just had to be there to witness the 2025 MVP race. Real quick, if you guys are planning on going to any live games anytime soon, go check out Vivid Seats, whether you're sitting courtside or in the nosebleeds. Use the code BUCKETS20 at checkout, and you'll save $20 off your first $200 plus order. Every time you buy from Vivid Seats, you earn points towards discounts, seat upgrades, and even free tickets. Plus, every ticket you buy is 100% buyer guaranteed, so you're good if anything goes south. Download the Vivid Seats app and check out the Game Center, where you can win free tickets just by answering a few trivia questions. So if you're headed to a game anytime soon, grab your tickets on Vivid Seats and use the code BUCKETS20 to save $20. Okay, back to the video. Now, Nikola Jokić and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander didn't just blow up out of nowhere in 2025. They've had some history of dominating the league. Nikola Jokić, prior to this season, already won 3 MVPs, putting up numbers that you wouldn't believe were actually possible in real life. While SGA doesn't quite have the laundry list of achievements, he was the runner-up for MVP last season, coming just short of Nikola Jokić. Last year, while Shai's Thunder and Jokic's Nuggets had the exact same record, Jokic's numbers were just flat out better, and it was pretty obvious. So in 2024, Nikola Jokić rightfully won the MVP award, but Shai didn't feel the same way. He was coming back next season with vengeance.
Is Jokić the MVP?
No, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been spectacular. He's a model of consistency for the best team in basketball.
What do you think of what you're seeing from SGA right now? He said the MVP of the NBA.
Yeah, Jokić just doing real shit, bro. I'm gonna give it to Shai this year. So 30, 22, and 14 ain't shit, huh?
It is White. The hit ahead to Tatum. Caught it in stride. SGA caught him at the rim. To find his rhythm in this game. The step through. Around and down. Plus a foul. What a move. And finish. Julian cheated way in. Jokić going to throw it up from the... Oh my. Dakota Jokić.
Long-way pass. Jokić is out there. Give it to Gordon. Whoa! Repeating it. It's so good. Now Jokić going to step back.
And he hits. You're kidding.
The 2024-25 season was finally upon us, and what better way to start off the regular season than to have the top 2 MVP candidates from last year go to war in Game 1.
What else? A proven perimeter shooter for this team. We're going to lean on.
Tied at 23, that ended an 8-0 run. Gilgeous-Alexander is so crafty.
Murray, clear lane to the basket.
Murray now has 9. Beautiful fake. It rattles in for Gilgeous-Alexander.
In Game 1 of the regular season, the Thunder sent a statement on the road to the rest of the league. beating the Nuggets in Denver by 15 points. Shea had a solid 28, 7, and 8 with 5 combined steals and blocks, while Jokić, he stunk it up. While the Joker did notch a triple-double, it wasn't the same scoring and efficiency we were used to seeing from him. But Jokić wouldn't let this one game define his season. He went on a tear for the next few games, including back-to-back 40 balls, while bringing that efficiency back up to Jokić standards with back-to-back overtime wins. Denver suffered a tough road loss to Ant-Man and the Wolves, but he followed it up with a monstrous 5-game win streak, notching triple-doubles after triple-doubles. But Shea and the Thunder were no strangers to winning games though. OKC cleaned up the bottom feeders to start off the season, with blowout wins to Chicago, Atlanta, San Antonio, and Portland. Shea wasn't quite putting up the numbers that Jokić was, but OKC was blowing teams out of the water. Well, except their rematch against Denver just 2 weeks after their first win against them.
With bodies all over. Jokić being guarded by the small man, reverse supply. Oh, Jokić, such a gifted pass. Jokić ahead, Westbrook gonna ride it home. Under to Jokić. Westbrook wide open, hits the three.
Denver wasn't going to let 2 home losses slide to OKC. They beat the Thunder in a nail-biter 124-122 win. Jokić had a light 23-point, 20 rebound, 16 assist triple-double. Another day in the office, we like to call it. Jokić continued to put up 2K my career numbers, but there was just one problem. All these points, rebounds, and assists weren't quite leading to wins. Of course, the Nuggets were still a playoff team in the West. However, during the next 6 games the Nuggets had during Thanksgiving time, they were dropping very winnable games. Unlike the OKC Thunder, who had no problem beating anyone in the league. But then, the MVP race had a breaking point.
If you didn't know that Nikola won 3 MVPs, and I put player A and player B on paper, and you had no idea that the guy who's averaging a triple-double, the guy who's top 3 in the 3 major statistical categories, things that no one's ever done, he wins the MVP 10 times out of 10. And if you don't think so, I think you guys are all full of
7 feet, 2-7, and now Jokić is mad. He wheels inside and scores it. Yes. Jokić got another 16-footer if he wants it. Now Jokić in the lane, slow roll. He got fouled. Backing in, here he comes. There it goes again.
There's talk that the Lakers.
Maybe.
Oh! 2 slip-ups after you get it down to 4.
Jokić, here it comes again. There it goes again.
Nikola Jokić against the Washington Wizards, the best G League team in the NBA, dropped a stat line so wild, it's really hard to believe. On December 7th, in Washington, Jokić dropped 56 points, 16 boards, 8 assists, and a steal while shooting 39 shots. And you know the crazy part about this? The Nuggets lost this game. Maybe Jokić should have just dropped 70, I guess. The Joker followed up this historic performance with yet another 48-point near triple-double, but they actually won the game this time against the Hawks. The Joker was cooking up towards the end of the calendar year. He held the MVP ladder down pretty securely for weeks on end in November and December. Well, that's until Mr. Consistent had a different plan.
7 games for you with at least 30 this season. That ties the Thunder record. How are you just so consistent, like the Tide, night in and night out?
My whole life is consistent. Everything I do, from what I eat to when I sleep, to my recovery, to my loved ones, everything's consistent.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was raining down buckets in December and January like he was the weatherman. OKC had an unreal stretch in December and January where they only lost one game from December 3rd to January 22nd, a 22-1 streak during the NBA's dog days to solidify OKC as the best team in the NBA. And Shai wasn't just along for the ride. He was putting up countless big nights, like a 39-point game against Luka and the Mavs, back-to-back 40 balls against the Wizards and Pacers in the East, another 40-piece against Minnesota to get his revenge from earlier in the year, wins against all the juggernauts in the East to show OKC was legit. And if you still didn't believe in Mr. Aura himself, he topped all of this off with a 54-point bomb against Utah to finish off the stretch. OKC was back and better than ever, and Shai stole Jokic's spot on the MVP ladder. But Jokić just wasn't going to let this MVP slide to Shai that easily. Despite having 3 in the trophy case already, Jokić and the Nuggets did a bit of winning themselves and scrapped their way from the 5 to 9 seed range all the way to the 4, 3, and even 2 seed range in January and February. But do you know what the worst part about these two teams having a win streak? Only one of them can keep it when they play against each other. Because on the schedule was a must-watch doubleheader between OKC and Denver in the lands of tornadoes, and things were about to get wicked.
Who's your MVP right now?
Jokić. When Jokić leaves the court, Denver's getting outscored by 3 points per game. They're a below-average team when he leaves the floor. Oklahoma City's just above average. That is why you should be voting for Jokić over SGA.
We've been wondering who LeBron James and Steph Curry is going to pass the torch to for as being the next face of the NBA. I think SGA won the word right now. No pen, no pencil, yet he's still drawing all the damn attention.
He's been playing terrific basketball, 25 points per game the last month and a half. Gilgeous-Alexander finally on the board. Gilgeous-Alexander again goes to the left hand. He makes it look so easy when he puts the ball on the
energy and effort because the production is going to follow with the talent.
He's got 9 rebounds, 18 points. Basket by SGA and 1. KC. Murray on the wing. Put it up and in. Overchecked. Wow. 5 times this season. Now Jokić bullies his way in. He's going at it. Murray for 3. Yeah! Jokić in on Hartenstein. Throws up a little floater and floats it in.
OKC made a statement in the first game, winning by 24 points and defending home turf. Shai had a ridiculous 40-piece with fries, while also notching 3 blocks. Jokić, on the other hand, looked clearly bothered in this game, only putting up 24, 13, and 9 on poor shooting. But things would flip in Game 2 as Nikola Jokić would catch fire, putting up 35 points, 18 boards, and 8 assists on a ludicrous 75% shooting, beating OKC by 13 in their own building. But if you still weren't convinced that Nikola Jokić was the best player on planet Earth, maybe their next matchup against the Wolves would.
That might have been the best game of my life, like, that I've been a part of. Nikola Jokić, bro. Oh my God, he might be the best basketball player I've ever seen, like, close up.
And vice versa. Westbrook, Jokić from 15, fouled, count it. Jokić will now drive and the big man for the Wolves. Jokić spinning, shooting, scoring. Gobert there behind the back. Sneaks one inside. Christian.
On April 1st of 2025, Nikola Jokić had an out-of-this-world 60-point triple-double. Only 2 other players in the league's history prior have done this, that being a prime James Harden with the Rockets and Luka Doncic on the Mavericks. I put up a 60-point triple-double on April Fool's Day because the MVP debate is a joke. Nikola Jokić. Probably. Well, at least he should have said that. Despite the Nuggets losing this game in double overtime, this was a marquee performance from the big man. Despite putting up a feat like this, the MVP ladder still wasn't budging. Shai had been on the top since early January, and his odds going into April were only rising. Both players ended this season on a bang. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was continuing to put up monster stat lines to lead OKC to the 6th best regular season record in NBA history at 68-14, putting the Thunder in the same conversation as teams like the 2016 Warriors, 1996 Bulls, the 97 Bulls, the 72 Lakers, the 67 76ers, and the 73 Celtics. Elite company. Shai's MVP case was pretty clear. He was the best scorer in the league while leading his team to one of the best records in NBA history. While Nikola Jokić was still stuffing the stat sheet, finishing off the year averaging 29, 12, and 10 on 57% shooting, the Nuggets couldn't quite boast the same regular season success that the Thunder had, finishing as only the 4th seed in the West. But this brings up the question, did Nikola Jokić actually get robbed of the MVP this year? Is he really away and behold the best player in the league, putting up arguably the greatest season ever? Or is he just a box score stuffing player that contributes nothing on defense and doesn't win games? Let's take a deeper look into the MVP race of 2025. When taking a look at the two Titans' stat lines, Shai takes about a 3-point advantage in scoring and averages more blocks, while Nikola Jokić takes the cake by a wide margin for rebounding, assists, and barely edging out Shai in steals. The Joker also takes efficiency with a higher field goal percentage and 3-point percentage. But you guys all knew about these stats. Diving a bit deeper into the advanced stats, the numbers that try to show a player's overall contribution on the court, Jokić had the higher true shooting percentage, player efficiency rating, box plus minus, and value over replacement, while Shai takes win shares and win shares per 48. But I think an area where people go wrong in this debate is thinking that Jokić is on his own planet compared to everyone else. SGA is actually a lot closer in these advanced stats than most Jokić fans would like to admit. Taking a look at the same advanced stats, if we just look at them compared to the top 100 players in the league, the distance all of a sudden looks a lot closer between Jokić, Shai, and the rest of the league. Shai is surprisingly a lot closer than Jokić in PER, box plus minus, and value over replacement, while beating him in win shares. Pretty impressive for a guy whose MVP case doesn't revolve around advanced stats. Do Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's stats really need to be the best in NBA history to win the MVP if he can drag his team to a near 70-win record, 18 more wins than his competitor's team? We're still not done yet. A key factor when weighing the MVP debate is how good their team is with and without them on the floor. Basketball at the end of the day is a team sport, and to make our best judgment of the players, we need to find their true value of their supporting cast. Taking a look at the numbers, when Jokić is on the floor for Denver and Shai is on the floor for OKC, the Nuggets are a plus 10.97 point team per 100 possessions, while the Thunder are a plus 17.39 team per 100. Two elite teams, no doubt about that. But when you take away the stars from their teams, how good do the squads actually do? Well, if Jokić and Shai magically disappeared from Denver and OKC, the Nuggets all of a sudden become a team that loses by about 10.2 points a game, while the Thunder are still a team that wins by about 9 points a game. That's an 8.32 point gap for the Thunder, with and without Shai, versus a 21.17 point gap for the Nuggets, with and without Jokić. The Thunder without Shai are still one of the best teams in the league, while the Nuggets without Jokić fall down to about one of the worst teams in the league. I think this is the difference that many stats fail to contextualize. The Thunder still have an elite team around Shai, while the Nuggets roster around Jokić can get shaky at times. If you were to ask me personally who I thought should have won the 2025 MVP, I would tell you Nikola Jokić. I like seeing the best player in the league actually walk away with the MVP award. But regardless of who you thought should have won it, you can't argue that the 2025 MVP race has been one of the most fun, exciting, and entertaining storylines of the year.